What's up, good people? You know who it is. It's your boy T-Roy back at you. Wanted to do an educational vid. This may go over in minutes a little bit, so forgive me. And I actually did it already, but I lost the footage, so I got to do it again, and hopefully I cover everything that I covered in the first video, because I feel like it was really informative and it answered some questions, some of the stuff which most of you that are subscribers already know, other stuff that probably some of my newer subscribers have no clue, or you already know based off your own research and things of that nature that you've done. But today's video is going to go into some information about real versus fake comparisons, authentic versus what's called unauthorized authentic, you know, AAA quality, or what you specifically call fakes, you know, things of that nature. About Nike and Jordan brand, I'm gonna point out some facts to you that you probably didn't know about, that help you make better decisions or answers a lot of questions for you in regards to, you know, this sneaker thing, being in the sneaker game. Again, whether for personal use or for business use, I think this is definitely some information, some golden nuggets that you can use. First, let's talk about real versus fake comparisons. You see them on YouTube everywhere. Not for every shoe though. Again, that's one of them things that make you go, But real versus fake comparisons, you see them everywhere on YouTube whenever a shoe comes out. Now, are there shoes that are counterfeit? Absolutely. We call them replicas, or that's one of the shoes that we call AAA quality, or quality lower than that, where they just put something together and like, here you go. So, yes, there are such thing as counterfeit shoes. And what's the difference between these counterfeit shoes and what's considered authentic? Well, number one, the materials they use to make these shoes, right? So instead of leather, they may use some type of artificial leather, pleather, vinyl, plastic. I know this sounds funny, but this is truth. To put together this shoe, in order to, you know, that's why they're able to sell these things dirt cheap. They're really cheap to manufacture. Actually, authentic shoes are really cheap to manufacture. They run about 7 to 12, maybe 15 bucks per to create, including the materials. So also with these shoes, these counterfeit shoes, they are made. Now this might bust somebody's bubble, you know, but spoiler alert, they are made in the same factories, same locations, same warehouses, by the same workers that make the authentic shoes for Nike and Jordan brand. Now, you do have little side factories that do it, that have the same machinery, you know, the same sewing machine, the same molds to make the soles of the shoe, things like that. But majority of them are made in the same factories. The counterfeits and the authentics made in the same place. So sorry to bust some of you bubble, like I say, but it's true. Again, you know, I always encourage you to do your research, go look it up. So yes, there are counterfeit shoes out there. You know, I never said that there weren't, but they are. You can, most of the time, you can easily tell the difference, because I see people talking about, man, they're getting really good with these fakes. You know, yeah, and some of them are. Like, some of them are really getting good with making these replica shoes with similar materials that the real shoes are made. They're not quite unauthorized, but like I say, you can tell the difference, you know, in the replica versus the authentic. Also too, a lot of these shoe enthusiasts that's on YouTube, another spoiler alert, don't let these cats fool you, please. Okay, don't let them fool you. What I mean by that is, again, I'm not saying no names, because I'm not into putting people specifically out there. People do what they do, and if they choose to lie, hey, so be it. That's on them. Like I said, I was gonna keep it honest with you guys and tell you the truth about what really goes on in the sneaker game. So a lot of these enthusiasts that have all these subscribers or whatever, you realize they're able to get early releases and do early on foot reviews and things like that, you know. But guess where they get their shoes from? Wholesalers. Now, are they going to tell you that? No, they're not going to tell you that. Now, are they going to lie to you and tell you that they have a plug that they get from Foot Action, Finish Line, things of that nature? Yes, I've actually heard a couple cats say they have an inside connect with the manager at Foot Locker or one of the major sneaker stores and things of that nature, where they get the hookup early. Let me debunk that right now. I have people that work at Foot Locker or have worked at Foot Locker that have worked at other major chains footwear stores, that's managed major chains footwear stores. They'll tell you firsthand that, number one, that'll mess up inventory control if they sold a shoe early. Number two, that they get fired if they sold a shoe early. Number three, the store can lose their license with that brand if they sold a shoe before its release date. No major retailer is going to release a shoe early again unless the date changes for the shoe overall. The due date, the release date rather, for the shoe changes overall. That means if Nike or Jordan Brand chooses to release that shoe early, and it's going to apply to all the major retailers. So for them to say they have a plug, I hate that term. Even though I use it in my PDF, I'm really starting to hate that term because it's dried up, man. It's overused. You know, y'all done beat that term up. The plug, like they don't. The plug that they have is a wholesaler. The plug ain't nobody with Nike or Jordan Brand. Now you may have a very select few that get exclusive things from Nike or Jordan Brand, like the dude Jacques Slade. I watch a lot of his videos and his stuff, but that's because he does, like, that's his form of work. He's in the media where he reports on releases, and he works, you know, he does gigs for Nike, Jordan Brand. He's invited to events that they have to test out shoes and things like that. Like, that's a legitimate connect. And if you watch his channel, you'll see that, you know, Nike will send him an exclusive release, like some exclusive Kyries or you know, some Jordans early. Like, I think they sent them the French Blues early. So I'm saying his name to use as an example of he's one of the legit people that get these things, possibly from Nike, you know, Jordan Brand, Adidas. It's not even just, like, it's not even just Nike and Jordan Brand. It's Adidas. It can be Reebok, ASIC, but because that's what he does, he reports on that stuff. That's his job. He's linked up with them, you know. He's linked up with people in that industry, you know, those corporations and things like that. So he does that for real. So that's where you'll see it legitimate. But a lot of these cats out there, cats that you probably subscribe to, and again, no disrespect to them nor you, but they're not being truthful. Like, one dude, I saw his video and he was doing an unboxing, has a lot of subscribers, a lot of people follow him. He was doing an unboxing video, and his words that came out of his mouth were, "This ain't from these ain't no unauthorized from no Chinese retailer." And I'm like, okay. And then he went on to then show kicks, multiple pair, by the way, keep that in mind, that weren't released as of yet, so they were early. That's a bold-faced lie. That's exactly where he got them from, a wholesaler. That's exactly where he got them from. And it's so funny because in the videos, if you realize with these unboxings, the plug, they always come like it's just I'm not even gonna get into that, man, but it's just always like, and I know most of them subscribers have to have a gut feeling, or they just blind, like, yo, your boy is lying to you, man. with these unboxings and things like that. So I just felt I think that's pretty funny. Like I say again, be real with your people. Like I always tell y'all, man, tell people what you selling, what you got. You know, do they have to know where they come from on a business standpoint? No, but if you're comfortable with sharing it with them, fine. Because as you can see, I share it with you, and YouTube is super public, so I don't have a problem with sharing that. Like I don't got a problem with telling the truth, because you know, shout out to the bull, DeMarcus. You know, I think he was one of them that kind of was like, people don't want to, and also the bull Andy, man, people don't normally want to give up their plug. They're really you know, people kind of stingy with that, but to each their own. Again, I can't speak for others, you know, just for what I do. So let me continue. Let's talk about authentic versus unauthorized. I'm gonna take a step back. My apologies. So when you get a chance, research just, you know, the sneaker enthusiasts and stuff, or the ones that you follow. Pay attention to their videos, man. Like, they're not getting this stuff from Jordan brands, especially, or Nike or Adidas or ASIC or whatever the case may be, especially when they have multiple pair of a shoe that's either a limited release, that's not released, or that has released. If they got like 5-6 pair of a shoe, come on, they ain't standing no lines nor no raffles to get this shoe. They did not. They didn't. Because you can only, nowadays, you can only purchase a certain amount of pair from the retailer. So again, these people are frauding to people's faces, and just it's not even like good lying. Like, it's not even believable lies if you have common sense. So, you know, again, to y'all that's doing that, and if you catch my channel, you catch this video, I mean, I can't tell you to stop it, but I mean, don't make it like somebody else that's doing something, the same thing y'all doing, but putting it out there. Like, don't hate on those cats. Don't hate on us, man, because we choosing to be honest. Like, there's a few honest cats out there, you know, so don't be mad because, you know, you feel like it ain't enough out here for everybody to eat, or for everybody to be exclusive or get what they want. Stop that. Cut that out, man. That's childish. Now, authentic versus unauthorized authentic, which is what everybody, again, which most of these sneaker enthusiasts are selling, are called unauthorized authentic. Now, I'm gonna tell you why they're called unauthorized. The specific reason they're called unauthorized authentic is because Nike or Jordan brand, or whatever major brand releases the shoe, doesn't give the person who's selling it, or the wholesaler who produced the shoe, permission to sell to the public. So they call it unauthorized because they're not authorizing, say Nike or Jordan brand is not authorizing to sell to the public. That's why it's called unauthorized. Not because it's a fake shoe, not because the materials aren't the same. It's called unauthorized, pretty much meaning, you know, lack of permission. Okay, y'all with me? So, with that being said, if you have the opportunity to do such, because the real versus fake comparison, they're quick to say that unauthorized is counterfeit. Wrong. Completely wrong. You know, completely wrong. And here's why. Well, number one, because the cats that's doing these reviews, you know, the authentic and unauthorized authentic, they're doing views of the same two shoes. They probably got them from the same spot. Both of them are probably from the wholesaler, because you guys don't see where they get these shoes from. You know, they don't show you where they get, like, it's very few cats that show you that they went to you know what I mean, like Kicks USA or something, and copped a pair of Jordan 12s, and then ordered from a wholesaler and copped a pair of Jordan 12s. So again, I'm asking y'all to use y'all discretion and common sense. Normally, if you realize every pair of sneakers, two different pair, whether retail or what is considered unauthorized, will have subtle differences. Go to a retail store. It don't even have to be a Jordan. Buy a general shoe that they have available. You know, buy two pair. Compare them. You're going to find subtle differences in the same two retail pair. So of course, when you get them directly from a wholesaler, there are going to be subtle differences from a retail pair and a pair from a wholesaler. They all do. They're all going to. The two from the wholesaler are going to have subtle differences. And maybe I'll do a video on that, you know, just to show you guys, to show you what I'm talking about. But subtle differences from the glue may not be the same on one pair. It may be a little more of a shabby job on one pair than the other. The paint may not be as great as the other. You know, you may see a little specks and not as precise. Also, the stitching may not be the same as the other. And as we know, a lot of these sneaker brands really are just pushing out some whack stuff. You know what I mean? Like not very precise in detail stuff and just releasing it to the public. So again, no two pair rather, are going to be exactly alike. Whether it's a retail and a wholesale pair, two wholesale pair, they're not. So don't be fooled. Please don't be fooled on that note either. And all of these authorized versus unauthorized and real versus fake comparisons, they're all opinionated. Like, who's the expert? Only somebody that manufactures the shoes can be the expert. Like, for instance, a lot of these wholesalers now, they jumping on YouTube doing authentic versus fake comparisons. Believe it or not, I would take their word over somebody over here's word. Unless somebody over here, I know they're working for Nike or Jordan brand or Reebok or, again, the major brands. I just use Nike and Jordan brand because that's the dominant, you know, monopolized company. So please, again, don't be fooled. Remember, that's strictly opinionated. And they brainwashing people, man. So a lot of the reviews you see, like when you see real versus fake comparisons, a lot of people be off. That's why things don't add up. It's never consistent. If you've ever looked at it and paid attention, like I said, you'll know a counterfeit shoe when you come across one. And another quick tip too, to a shoe that is authentic, you can realize the shoes that are authentic always have that new sneaker smell. They always do, because they're made with a different type of glue. And it's the smell of the glue that makes the shoe smell like that sneaker, that new sneaker smell. So that's why normally counterfeits don't come with that new sneaker smell. That's just a little pointer that if you're going to cop some sneakers or trade some sneakers, smell the sneakers unless they unless they worn. You know, don't do that. But but yeah, new sneakers, dead stock joints come with that new sneaker smell. If it don't have that new sneaker smell, then that should raise a question in your mind. And not that, you know, I'm just giving you an idea. But, you know, so again, the real versus fake comparisons are all opinionated. Everybody calls themselves an expert. You got these cats in these sneaker stores saying, you know, when you take them to the sneaker store to get them authenticated, you know, that they're expert. They even give you certificates of authenticity, you know, once they authenticate your shoes, blah, blah, blah. It's no way they can really tell the difference between a wholesaler's pair and a pair from a retail if you brought both and everything matches up, which it normally will outside of those small, you know, those small details that are different on every pair of shoe. So, you know, they're killing me. Like, I wish people would stop. And they're talking about like the box, like, oh man, look at the box. This box right here, it got a dent in the top left corner right here on the box. So these joints can be real. What the hell does the box have to do with the shoe? Like, now if you just get like a crazy box and you know that joint is just not the right box for the shoe, like, okay, but what the hell does the box have to do with the shoe? I could put an authentic pair of shoes in a crazy box, thank you too, in a crazy box on my own. Does that make my shoes fake? Nope. Just got some authentic shoes and a dumb box. That's it. Like, you know, so again, I'm just trying to debunk some of these things that people are afraid of. And I understand when you're paying $250, you know, for a shoe, you don't want to roll out with a counterfeit shoe, man, after paying that much money. So I get the ideal, you know, of like, look, man, you know, like people being scared. Like, I get that. I understand that. However, you know, you gotta do your own research, look deeper, do research, because they brainwashed you to think that, you know, if you don't get them from retail, then they ain't gonna be right. So, and then you got receipt heads out there, which again, when I'm spending a lot of money for some shoes, I don't blame them to a degree. But however, what a lot of people don't know is that they producing fake receipts. Like, they're giving you receipts, or their receipts, you know, like it's fake receipts out there now, man. So you can't even really be a receipt head like that. If they're printing receipts now, like, how crazy is that? Anything can be counterfeited. Anything, you know. So again, you know, for those that follow my channel, don't let people discourage you, man. You know, if you try to go make a sale and they're uncomfortable with the shoe because you didn't get it from a Finish Line or a Foot Locker, just sit on it. I guarantee you'll sell it. You're going to sell that shoe. Somebody's going to want that shoe. Just sit on it. Don't be discouraged if you go link up with somebody and they don't want the shoe because they feel like the Jumpman on the eyelet of the 12s isn't, you know, it don't line up. And the eyelet is a half an inch big on the 12s where the laces go, and the Jumpman is probably a quarter of an inch, so it could fit there. And they looking for details, the Jumpman on the eyelet. Like, I actually dealt with that. That was so funny. And then after the dude did the research, it was on a pair of wings. And after the dude did the research, now he blowing me up, and somebody else was interested in him. Sorry, man, that's all I can say. You know, you that intrigued, like, yo, look at the Jumpman on the eyelet. It don't look right to me. It's like, okay, you know. And I know what I had. And I guess with people, when you have something exclusive, people have a hard time accepting that you have something exclusive. I get that part, you know. But so this is just, like I say, educational. Oh, also, to give you another pointer and another heads up, like a lot of these websites that's selling these J's that you can't get in stores no more after they release, because they only let the store get a certain amount of pair. But you see all of these websites with them. If they're not major retailer websites, and I'll give you an example, like Foot Locker, Foot Action, Finish Line, Kicks USA, East Bay, City Blue, what else? Sneaker Villa, you know, Adidas.com, Nike.com, Jumpman23.com. If it's not, you know, if it's not like the big boys and they selling sneakers online, you know they're not authorized with Nike and Jordan Brand, right? Because Nike and Jordan Brand don't authorize online sales, like online websites rather. They don't give licensing to stores that have websites. You have to have a brick and mortar store in order to have a license with Nike and Jordan Brand. And it has to be in a location that they want it to be in. And on top of that, not just a location they want it to be in, you have to make your store has to make a certain amount every year before they even put their product in your store. I believe it's like $1 million. You have to have $1 million in sales annually in order for them to consider. It might be a little more now. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but in one of my old videos, I have the application process so you can take a look for it yourself, where I'm kind of going over some of the information that I'm going over in this video. But this one is a little longer and more detailed. Because I know the hiccups that when you gift cop from a wholesaler and you're reselling, the things you can run into. Trust me, I ran into everything. I've gotten burned. You know, I've made some pretty decent money. You know, I get people challenge me like, yo, they can't be authentic. I have people where I made them shut up because they felt stupid after I proved to them that they were. You know, so I've been around the globe, man, with this. And like I said, I've been doing it for about 8 years now, and that's just an estimation, maybe more, with my very first wholesaler that I had before Maryland. So I mean, you know, this is no new rodeo for me. So I know the hiccups and the things that you can run into and how the sneaker game has changed drastically. You know, 8 years ago it was easy, man. We was making money hand over fist out of my apartment, like me and my nephew, man. It was crazy. Now you gotta prove everything. You know, like, hey, prove this, prove that. You know, and people don't do their own research. It's a microwave generation that we're in. Everybody want everything so quick, you know. But it is what it is, man. And so I figured I'll go over that with you. So like I say, those cats that's selling them online and it's not part of no major chain, or, you know, no really known chain that's been selling sneakers, you know, they're not licensed, authorized with Nike or Jordan Brand. So what does that mean? That means they're selling unauthorized authentics as well, which isn't authentic. They're authentic. Nike just doesn't give permission for it to be sold to the public. It's the same shoes. Same exact. Don't care nobody tell you. Look up, do your research. Do your research. So again, it's your boy Trouble T Roy. Get Kicks Wholesale at gmail.com. GetKicksWholesale at gmail.com. Twitter and Instagram. Get Kicks WS1. GetKicksWS the number 1. That's my handle for both. Even my Facebook, www.facebook.com/Get Kicks WS1. And again, the GetKicksWS and the number 1. So, questions and concerns, rebuttals, you got more information that I may have missed, don't hesitate to comment, email, whatever the case may be, and get at me. Peace.